What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Dom and Pop DC Sports Talk Plus podcast. Week 12 preview. Here we go. Atlanta Falcons at home. Chase Young making his return. And it's Thanksgiving this week, so got a lot of good stuff to talk about. Let's get right into it. Pop, how you doing, man?
Man, we're grinding. Week 12.
Another week. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it, as I said, at week 12. And the funniest part is our bye week is coming up. We're 2 weeks away from our bye week. And I feel like when the season started, I was thinking week 14 bye. That's forever from now. And I'm trying to make plans with Morgan. And she's like, hey, how's the 10th or the 11th? And I'm like, you know what? Commanders are on bye that week. I'm wide open. Whatever we need to do. So Commanders are on bye. Little birthday pod for you, maybe. But yeah, this week, week 12, we have the Atlanta Falcons. Let's get right into it. What do we think? I think so. The two biggest headlines, which in my opinion are kind of not headlines, to be honest with you, in terms of the outcome of the game, spoiler, is Taylor has been deemed the starting quarterback. We kind of knew that was coming, but officially announced starter. And Chase Young has been activated, at least activated to the 53-man roster. Will he play? To be determined. How much will he play? To be determined. I think if he does play at all, it's probably going to be on a pretty severe pitch count.
Yeah.
Because why, right? I'll make my point and I'll let you give your reaction to it. Taylor, we knew it was coming. Chase Young, why would you rush him back with the way the defense and the defensive line has been playing at this point? I was actually in favor. If they had any inkling that he should be shut down for the rest of the year, I was in favor of shutting him down. Just because, what's the point? The defensive line has been so good. The defense has been so good. Why do we need to rush him back for a wild card race? But if he's healthy, let's get him in there. Let's get him some reps. So
yeah, I think he's the opposite of being rushed back. I think they're actually taking their time, and I think he's cleared from a physical standpoint, and they're just ultimately the only way to really train to play football is to play football.
Yep.
So they're I think being overly cautious, and it's probably good, but I expect him to play Sunday. I'm going to go ahead and make my bold prediction. I think he's activated. I think he's going to play. I think he's going to start to push a little harder in practice, and I think he's going to play. And in terms of Taylor, really the kind of discussion I wanted to have was, see if different tones starting to happen. This town loves a backup quarterback. Taylor's not the backup anymore.
Yeah.
And now the criticism's starting to kind of dial up. And I find it funny because we're 6-5. We were 1-4 people. And yeah, is this team setting the world on fire? Is this offense setting the world on fire? Absolutely not.
The defense is.
Defense is playing really good ball. But it's just interesting how the tone starts to change when now he's the starter. And there's being more critical, and people saying, well, it's disappointing they didn't score more points, disappointing they didn't beat the Titans by more. I mean, that happens in football every week. You get out to a 20, was it 20-0?
Yeah, 20-0 at half.
I mean, you get out to that big lead, it just seems like, the gas gets off the pedal a little bit. It even happened against, the Eagles when we were up, right? Things kind of evened out a bit. I mean, you look at what the team is doing in terms of time of possession. They're obviously, driving the ball. Yeah, they could finish a little bit better than what they've been doing. But you've all been wanting Taylor, everybody. You got him. Let's embrace the situation and go forward and hope that the team keeps playing as well as they are. But I find it kind of interesting. I mean, has it done anything to change your outlook and
Yeah.
things.
I mean, 100% agree. I think the irony of it is in week 3 against Philadelphia, the low point of the season, right? I mean, could have been maybe even the low point of the Ron era. That was a really bad week for us. And everybody's talking about the Eagles let off the gas. Our second half effort doesn't really count because they slowed down and they softened up, blah, blah, blah. And the same people who are talking about that are the same people who are saying, we sucked in the second half against Houston. I can't believe we were so bad. The offense stalled out, blah, blah, blah. No. If you're going to say the Eagles let off the gas when they were up 24 nothing, how can you not say that we let off the gas when we were up 20 to nothing? That's clearly what
Yeah,
happened.
and we
We
could
let
have
off the
easily
gas.
scored on that last drive, right? I
We
mean,
could have
we just stalled. So
we could have
it's
went up, and you know what?
yeah,
They say, why don't you go up 40-3 on them like you do against Dallas? I'll tell you why you don't. Because Mike McCarthy's a jackass, one. And two, you're not gonna that Dallas is making a statement against what a lot of people were saying is the best team in the NFC. What do we have to prove going up 50 to nothing against the worst team the NFL has seen in the last like 5
all
years?
right, Tom, take a deep
There's no
breath.
point. It's
Take a
silly.
deep breath. I don't think we chose not to score more
It's
points.
silly. No, but
I
we
think
let
it's
off the
just a
gas.
question of I think
Watch
it's
the
just a
game.
question of that's things happen momentum wise. You try to control the clock, maybe run the ball a little more. You know, it's an NFL team. You're not going to hold them the whole half. So I've got no complaints
Me
about the
neither.
game
That's the point
against
I'm trying to get to is
the
that I
Texans. Maybe the fact that we're nitpicking some of those things as a fan base um, is, or maybe we're just wired. Maybe, from a
that's
reporter
where I was headed.
perspective, from a radio perspective, we're wired to be negative, right? But, ultimately to go on the run that we're on to be 6-5. And then, let's spin it a little differently. Like, what is your feeling or your outlook for the season at this point? 6 games left. We're 6-5. What are you thinking? How do you think this thing's going to end up?
You know, I think first of all, totally agree with your point. I think we just need something to talk about. That's why the narrative has changed. But I think that for the season, it's tough because on one hand, this team's a lot better than we thought they were. About going into the season, there was a lot of negativity, and obviously, going into that game against Chicago, we're talking about is Ron Rivera gonna make it through the weekend? Granted, if we're all alive by Saturday, um, but yeah, it's tough to give the outlook for the season just because the NFC is so competitive right now, and it's
Yeah.
we didn't anticipate this going into the year, but we're talking about we're gonna have to knock off San Francisco, we're gonna have to knock off the Giants, we're gonna have to knock off teams who so far have at least been consistently better than us. I mean, San Francisco's looking like one of the biggest threats in the NFC, and
Well,
so
I break it down this way. I break it
it's
down
hard to
this
give the
way.
playoff prognosis, I guess.
But just to kind of like jump to the chase a little bit, right? So we got Atlanta, we got the Giants twice, we've got was it San Fran, Cleveland, and Dallas at home. I think that Atlanta you should be confident against.
You hope.
I'm pretty confident against the Giants, right? Um, those last three are tough, but you get Dallas at home at that last game. I certainly think we can compete against them. I think best case scenario, I'd see a 10-6. I do
10 and
think
7.
my mind points me towards 10-7. Sorry, still old school in it. Hey, I can remember a 14-game season, so it shows you how
There you go.
where Pop's coming from. But I'm feeling 9-8. I just feel like things are going to kind of even out a little bit, and it is a tough schedule. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they keep it rolling. I think in terms of Taylor, I just hope it doesn't really kind of shift or change things now that he's the starter. I do think that they talked about it a little bit on the radio today about how are they reining him in too much? Are they, it's now about protecting the ball and not making a mistake. And in some ways, they got to let him be himself and do the things that he does well. And yeah, you'd like to eliminate the mistakes, but mistakes are going to happen, as long as you can recover and make up from that. So, yeah, it's interesting. But I think, what do you think? it's not no longer Houston's scouting report. It's Atlanta scouting report. But what do you think of the Falcons there, Dominic? I always lean on you to give me that breakdown.
Yeah, so not much going on down in Atlanta, to be honest. It's kind of a team in transition. Obviously, their star wide receiver, Calvin Ridley, suspended for the season and then traded to Jacksonville, non factor. They went up and they drafted Drake London, number 8 overall. That's somebody to keep an eye on. Big, tall wide receiver, had a couple of big games, but has been pretty quiet. Otherwise, to be honest, not concerned with the way our secondary has been playing. Marcus Mariota can run it a little bit. He can throw it a little bit. He's not going to beat you with his arm. It's really what it comes down to. And Atlanta, at the end of the day, they're going to run the football. Cordero Patterson is going to get touches. Tyler Algier is going to get touches. Caleb Huntley might even get touches. They're going to run the football a lot. And we might have the best run defense in football right now. I mean, we are playing really, really, really good run defense. So, I mean, what did Dameon Pierce even crack 20 yards last week? Like, I'm not overly concerned, and that is why I'm concerned about the Falcons. So, the
We said the
transition,
same thing last week.
yeah, the transition in
Right.
our things that pop here, unless you got anything you want to add. I missed anything on the scouting report. They're very average to mediocre defensively. The Falcons, nothing exciting or intriguing going on there as well. So to transition into our keys, I guess I can give mine first, if you're cool with that.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Um,
I am cool with that.
Number one, the most important one for me is let's come out strong. Let's keep the momentum going. To me, this feels like the trap game. And I kind of felt this way. I didn't say it. I didn't want to look too far ahead, but I kind of felt this way going into the Houston game too. The Texans are just so bad. You really got to screw up to blow that one. The Falcons are just good enough to catch you if you're sleeping.
Yep.
And that's what I'm worried about is I think we went out, we smacked Philly, we smacked Houston, and now we're thinking, oh, okay, well, we Atlanta only needs 75%.
They're 5-6. We're 6-5, right
Yeah.
there. Just one game difference between those two teams.
And you look at how we won a lot of our games. I mean, we could be right there with them. So I
Right.
think number one, come out strong. Got to have the psychology mastered, ready to go. Number two, continue to take away the football turnovers. Atlanta's gonna turn the ball over. Patterson fumbles from time to time. Mariota will throw an interception if you make him throw the ball. And that is going to tie me to number one, which is going to be contain Marcus Mariota's legs. Don't let him run. If we don't let Mariota run, I feel pretty good about how we'll handle the running backs. And he's going to have to throw the ball, force him into 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 situations. We're going to get some takeaways. We're going to get some interceptions. And I think this is a football game we're going to be able to win. So those are my three.
Did you just go key number 1, 2, and then 1?
I went
or 3, 2, 1.
I wrote down 1, 2, 3 on my sheet here, and it was easiest for me to segue into number 3. So then when I got to number 1, which was number 3, it's a mess here. We should put the numbers from the Hangover, the Zach Galifianakis.
Hey,
scheme.
people, 1 + 1 + 2 doesn't equal 3.
Hey, look,
but anyway,
math guy on the other side of the screen, English guy over here. All right. So yeah, just
right.
Again, quick wrap up. I want to come out strong. I want to take the football away, and I want to contain Mariota's legs. Pop.
Yeah.
Give me your 3
Excellent. Excellent. So I'm going to do a little audibling here because you took a couple of mine, but that's cool. I think for the one thing is the defense continued to dominate or really dictate to the offense, right? It really keep the offense on their heels. We've got to keep playing at this level on defense. We can't have a letdown game defensively.
Agreed.
I think winning the time of possession battle, that has been the formula to victory for us. Is, even though we haven't finished a lot of drives or put a lot of points on the board, we have moved the change. So, win that time of possession battle. And an oldie but a goodie, but feed Terry McLaurin.
Love it.
right? Doesn't have to
Love
be
it.
with deep balls. Those slants have been working, but let's get Terry a little bit more involved than he was against the Texans, right?
Yeah.
So, just to recap, right? Defense continue to dictate the pace, continue to dominate the offense of the Falcons. Win that time of possession battle. That's been the formula that works. Move those chains and feed Terry McLaurin as part of that formula.
Yep. Another key matchup to watch here is going to be the special teams units. Patterson just broke at least the record for this year, maybe ever. He had a 103-yard kick return last week. So we've been really good on coverage on kicks and punts, but it'll be a fun. You got a dynamic returner back there. We've got a great coverage unit. It'll be fun to watch those two guys go head to head as my ESPN notifies me of the World Cup recap for today. But yeah, I think that's pretty much that for the Falcons game. It's not a big one, but what's the big headline of this week, Pop? Thanksgiving. At
It's
the end of the
Thanksgiving.
day, it's Thanksgiving, baby. So let's get into that. I hit Dad earlier today. I said, hey, you know what? We should talk some fun stuff. Talk some variety. Holidays coming up. Maybe we'll do the same for Christmas if you guys end up liking it, or holiday season. Thanksgiving favorites. Let's get off the field today. We get distracted enough with on the field topics. Let's get distracted off the field a little bit. Let's give our top 3. Now, you just said Thanksgiving favorites. Is that anything to do with Thanksgiving, or is that food?
You make it what you want to be.
I like.
Say top 3.
I made it food because I'm hungry. I did my notes during lunch, and then we record this podcast right before I head out for dinner. So I'm hungry. I made it food. So I got my top 3s all food. But you want to go ahead and give your top 3 first, Pop?
No, you go.
All right.
You go.
I'll start at number 3. The number 3 Thanksgiving is the sweet potatoes. Whether you do them, you candy them up with the melted butter and the brown sugar, or you do them in the more like mashed casserole format with the marshmallows on top. Oh my God, the sweet potatoes, that's number 3. Number 2, and this is, in my opinion, it's a side, but let's call it what it is. It's an entree, the mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is the best. It's the best dinner course on that table. Let's just call it what it is. Any other 364 days out of the year, if somebody says, hey, I oven roasted some turkey or I have some macaroni and cheese, which one would you prefer to eat? You're going for the mac and cheese. Let's call a spade here, people. All right. I'm anti-turkey on Thanksgiving. I don't like turkey. I don't do it. I don't make it for myself. I have Thanksgiving out here in LA. I don't make turkey. So mac and cheese number 2 for sure. And then number 1, I got a sweet tooth. Little bit of a non-traditional pick here, but apple pie for me. I say, you know what? Thanksgiving is pies. We always got apple, pumpkin, sometimes sweet potato, pecan, etc. All the good stuff out there. Apple pie for me is just the best pie. So it's got to be number 1. I know it's not a traditional Thanksgiving favorite, but it's
I
always
say
a
damn because two of my 3 are matching yours. But now it's yeah. I mean, I kind of agree. I am a turkey guy. Now I wouldn't say I want to eat turkey kind of like we eat chicken, right?
Yeah.
Chicken is a constant favorite in terms of a meal, but at once a year, that Thanksgiving turkey with the right kind of gravy on it. I cook the turkey every year. When Dominic was home, we used to always have to cook chicken cutlets as well, the Italian
Yeah, I
style,
can't stand turkey.
because he refused to eat turkey.
Putrid.
I don't know that you've ever actually tasted turkey. That my eyes have witnessed.
I've tried it so many times, and every time I try it, I hate it.
Yeah,
it's putrid.
Yeah, I like some turkey, but and of course, Pop makes it Italian style. I drench it in olive oil.
Is it is it Italian style to smoke the oven mitt with the turkey? Is that Italian style?
I'll only set the oven on fire twice. But yeah, I've got I've got my top three. I kind of went favorite things about Thanksgiving.
There
Now,
you
obviously,
go.
goes without saying, being with family is the best
Always
part of
number
it.
one.
So goes without saying. The turkey's great. I'm gonna go without saying that too. But I agree. Sweet potato casserole, with the yams, which are drenched in honey, and the marshmallows roasted on top. I mean, my lovely wife, who I've referenced on this pod, makes an unbelievable sweet potato
So good.
casserole. So I'm saying if I'm looking forward to one dish, and the sides on Thanksgiving are
It's the best
phenomenal,
part.
right? I mean, you get a table full of sides, so just dipping into all the different side dishes is my green mac and cheese is phenomenal as well. Um, for me, then I agree, apple pie, but it's got to have the warm Haagen-Dazs
Yes.
vanilla ice
Yes.
cream,
I didn't
not
get to
warm
say
vanilla
that.
ice
I didn't
cream.
get to say
A
that.
warm apple pie, Haagen-Dazs vanilla ice cream on top. I could almost just eat that
Pop, can I
and be in
let me
heaven.
put you onto something really quick. I didn't know this. I just recently realized this. So I was at Morgan's house one night and I wanted some ice cream. I was craving vanilla, so we went to the gas station across the street. They had Haagen Dazs. They didn't have the regular vanilla. They have vanilla bean.
Oh yeah, I'm way ahead of you, son.
Amazing, amazing. And then I
I'm
went
way
I
ahead of
went to
you.
the 7-Eleven next to my house to try and replicate it because that's what you do when you get a great food. You want it again. And I just went and all they had was regular vanilla, and it's not even on the same planet.
It's
And
still
it's
amazing.
still
I
amazing,
believe
but
that
the
when you
vanilla
when you
bean,
walk through the gates of heaven, the first thing they hand you is an Haagen-Dazs full pint vanilla ice cream, and they tell you, don't worry about the calories anymore. Have at
don't
it.
worry about the
Enjoy.
calories and don't worry about what's gonna happen to you 8 hours from now. Just go, just enjoy it.
It always goes there with you. And then the third thing for me is football. Full day of football, which we're going to get into
Oh,
in a
it's
minute.
glorious.
It's perfect lead
Glorious.
in to the Bada Bets. Thanksgiving, we got a special Bada Bets for you this week. Bonus Bada Bets. Dom's going to set it up for us. But yeah, whole day of football. How can you beat that?
Can't beat it.
Giants, Cowboys. I mean, you just, who do you want to win that game? But still, I'm glad the Commanders aren't playing. I'd prefer not to have that stress
Yep.
on Thanksgiving. But yeah, it's a good games on tap. So yeah, it's always a great day. Long weekend from work. Gotta love that. So looking forward to it.
Yep. And that is the beauty is that the football just goes all day and theoretically you get that turkey oven in the morning. You get that turkey in the oven in the morning. Maybe you prep some of the sides beforehand. The food's going, and you're just zoned in on the games. It's just football going all day. I'm making short ribs this year instead of turkey because I'm not a turkey guy, and you can just put the short ribs. They just go in the oven. You don't have to think about it. Dinner's just ready when you feel like it. It's beautiful. So
Well, I tell you, so this was my experience growing up. I'm going to try to keep this fast, but just a little story time with Pop, right? Of course, up until recently, there was only the two games, so there's still the two games every Thanksgiving. But Italian Thanksgiving is different. Right. Italian Thanksgiving starts with the special soup or what people call Italian wedding soup, right? And then the manicotti. It's always got to be
yeah,
like a manicotti and a pasta, right? Just in case. You got to have some
yep.
rigatoni or maybe spaghetti and a manicotti. Then the
Thanksgiving.
turkey would come
Yep.
out with the cutlets in the hand. By the time the turkey came out, you were done.
Yep.
You were breathing heavy. You could barely get it in. But then, we would always eat early. So, Italian household, you ate dinner on a holiday or on a Sunday, you ate at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. So, by the time 6, 7 o'clock roll around, food comes back
Start eating
out.
it up.
the whole set of food comes right back out and everybody starts eating again. So
Yep.
that's a little insight into what the Italian Thanksgiving was like. It was unbelievable.
Glorious. It's a glorious occasion.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah, and of course, thank God things with the disease that shall not be named have tamed down a little bit. And the best part was always just the revolving door of people coming in and out all day. This one brought this one brought that. And so glad that we can kind of get back to that this year.
yeah.
Long overdue. But you know what? Let's get into football because great thing. Number 3 on your list, football. That's what we're here to talk about, really, at the end of the day. I know Sports Plus, mostly football podcast here. Let's get into it. We're doing a extended, fortified, with extra calcium Bada Bets this week. We're doing 7 instead of the normal 5 because, we normally cover the Thursday night game and the primetime national games. But this week, we got more of those. So we're not just going to skip out and not cover them. We're going to cover them. So,
Son, Palinas are on the line this
yeah,
week.
this is a big
7
one.
games. This could swing your season one way or another. This could make or break you.
7 games.
No pressure.
7 games is a big one. It's like your fantasy football draft. They say you can't win the season with your draft, but you can lose the season. And I think that's kind of how this week is going to go.
Now, don't go through and recap the game by game because we don't need to do that. You know what? If you're interested in knowing our picks, we've got shorts, we've got previous pods. What are you doing, people? Go listen. But as the math guy, I would like you to read off those records, those season-long records that we're at right now.
So season long, we both went 3-2 last week. So Pop.
No, you went 2 and 3.
I went 2 and 3. You did not detail that. Oh, you did. I just can't read.
I sure did.
It's English. You said Dom and Pop go 3-2, which implies that we both went 3-2. But that's
you're right. I messed you up there.
So again, math on that side, English on this side. It's how we got a theme going here. It's great. So Pop, being the math guy, is 24-20 on the year with 1 push, and I am 21-23 with 1 push. So again, we're right there. We're right there, man.
4 games over 500. Come on.
Not bad. Not bad.
Climbing up
at all. So, without further ado, let's get into these games. We're going to go through them quick, rapid fire style. I've already got mine written down. So let's get right into it. Thursday, 12:30, Bills at the Lions. Pot. Bills are 9.5-point favorites.
Too many points. Got to go Lions on that.
I'm taking the Bills minus 9.5. New York Giants at the Cowboys minus 9. Some Commanders playoff implications here, maybe at 4:30. Pop, what do you like?
Man, Vegas loves them some Cowboys, don't they? And we were, shocked last week. I think Giants are going to keep it closer than 9. Maybe Cowboys squeak out a close win, but I'll go Giants at the points.
Vegas loves them some Cowboys, and Dom, only in the context of Bada Bets, loves them some Giants. I'm taking the New York Giants plus 9. That's an easy one for me. That's probably the easiest of the week. Patriots at Vikings is the Thursday night game. Vikings only 2.5-point favorites here at home. What do you think, Pop?
I like the Vikings to bounce back in this game.
I do, but the one thing stronger than any force of nature is Kirk Cousins under the lights. So I'm taking New England plus 2.5, baby. Kirk Cousins is going to deuce himself. I'm taking New England.
I like it. Yep. Short week after taking a beating. It could happen.
Primetime Belichick versus primetime Kirk, and Belichick's getting 2.5 points. Oh, man, it's going to be rough. It is going to be rough. Washington, 4-point favorites at home against Atlanta on Sunday. We're both taking the Commanders here, right? Make it easy.
We're undefeated taking the Commanders. We're taking the Commanders. Yeah.
I took the Commanders in week 2, but that's the old format. It doesn't count anyways. Sunday, Ravens minus 4 at Jaguars. Pot.
Ravens.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens too. I did think about that one, but Ravens. Sunday night, Packers at Eagles minus 7.
Give yours first. I'm still undecided on this.
Taking Philly.
You know what? We got too many matching. I'll go Packers. I think Packers play NFC East tough. I'll go Packers.
I go Packers.
And a shocker.
Stink. And I really regret.
They do, but they beat the Cowboys.
I don't think the Cowboys are that good, but that's a different topic. Steelers at Colts Monday night. This is a screamer right here. Colts only 2.5-point favorites. I guess that kind of gives away my pick. I'm taking the Colts there. Pop, what do you like?
Jeff Saturday's on a heater.
Saturday season,
Go
baby.
Colts.
Saturdays are for the boys. Jeff Saturday, greatest coach in the NFL? Maybe. We'll have to see.
Jim Irsay's a genius,
Hey, what do they say about the blind squirrel and the nut? But anyways, I think that's about it.
But yeah, it's funny. That's kind of a perfect end to a long Thanksgiving weekend is you're going to be back to work, as you call it, Mushada Monday.
Oh, man.
And We got to watch Steelers Colts on a Monday
Oh
night.
Jesus.
What's going
Yeah.
on? Gonna be all bloated. Pants aren't gonna fit
Horrible.
quite like they did the week before.
That's
But
Monday.
hey, it's
The
football.
Monday night after Thanksgiving, that's the sniff night. That's when you don't know if the leftovers are still good, but you're hitting the sniff test. That's Monday night.
Now,
You're
by
not
Monday night, I've had turkey like 3 or 4 days straight. By Monday night, turkey's done. That's
Well,
done
it's
by
not done.
then.
It's going in the freezer. It's not done.
It's how it goes, right? First day, like the Thanksgiving Day is kind of overwhelming, right? Because you got turkey, but you got loads of sides, you got the desserts coming, so you don't know what's coming or going. It's hard to really kind of enjoy the turkey. The next day, leftovers, turkey's great, right? Gravy, leftovers, all right, I can sit and enjoy it. On that third day, turkey's like you're eating it because it's there and there's lots of leftovers, but you're just like, I think I'm starting to get over the turkey. And then it's just like, look, I'm not eating no more
Now
turkey.
that
I know we still got some left over, but I'm done. I'm not eating any more turkey.
that Friday night meal after Thanksgiving, that is a magical occurrence because you just sit
Yeah,
there like a gavon and you just
that's even almost better than
the
Thanksgiving.
microwave starts at like 4:45 and doesn't stop until 8 o'clock. It just keeps going, and you're just spoonful of this, nuke it, spoonful of that, nuke it. It's beautiful. So, yeah, I mean I think that's about it. There's not
Let's
too
hope
much
we're
more to
still
go
smiling
here.
Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, that'll make or break the weekend for sure and the holiday. But you know what? Good news is Commanders aren't playing on Thanksgiving, so we can just relax, enjoy some games that don't really matter. I guess technically we should be rooting for the Giants to lose, but then you got to root for the Cowboys. That's an ugly one.
Not rooting for the
Um,
Cowboys.
but in terms of
It's not
playoff
happening.
implications, I think it's better that the Giants lose. But
Maybe, yeah.
well, I hope the Giants lose by less than 9 points.
Well, good news is we got the opportunity to take care of that ourselves.
Yep.
Play them twice.
Hey, like
So
Ron says, be where your feet are, control what you can control. I'm going to
that's
take
right.
that advice to heart as I'm debating whether or not to go for a fourth piece of apple pie on Thursday night. I
Do
can
it.
control it, so I'm going to eat it. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. Special Thanksgiving episode, Week 12, preview of the Houston Texans. Without further ado, I've been Dom.
This is Pop.
Thanks for another great week, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving. Go Commanders.